So today we're gonna take a look at ripping out some of these wall pads right over here, and then we got some new sponsors and some new logos. So we're gonna be removing the trim kit, the wall pads, getting some new fresh mats up, reinstalling the trim kit. Let's take a look at how we do that. We have a hammer, we have a crowbar, not the right crowbar for the job, but we're gonna use it anyways because it's what we got. Okay, I recommend getting a finishing one, really thin, about an inch big to slide back here, but we're gonna give this a whirl. We're just gonna kinda poke it in, give it like a little pop. We have solid plywood in the back here, so these brad nails are in here pretty good. There it goes. And then we can kinda just crank this the rest of the way. And then Dylan, I'll have you hold the wall pads in. Yeah, just kinda lean on that wall pad and watch your head. Hold the wall pad in right here for me. Yeah, there it goes. And then this corner. And we're just gonna these brad nails are just kinda here to kinda lightly hold the pad in place and hold this securely. There we go. We'll have to clip these ends later on to make sure it goes back in flush. One down. Trying to go in through the side here to make sure I don't damage the top of it. There we go, and I'll hand that to you. And these should just slide on out. Yep, and just wiggle it left and right, and then we'll slide it on back. Now we gotta open up the boxes. So as we slide the wall pad in, we got the laser line coming across just to help speed up work. That way we don't have to manually check all these with the level. He's just gonna kind of throw it in, come down just a hair. There we go. Make sure it's nice and tight. 1 and 2. And then what happens is, just for everybody's sake, because it happens in all the builds we do, we're looking for a general straight line, okay? We always have, like, because it's plywood, it's not perfect. There can be little curves and little dimples just slightly above, so you wanna get it as close as possible. The best part about that is when we do the trim kits, we might as well talk about this, right? And then hold that side for me, right? If we hold this trim kit, just hold it up. I'm gonna bend this up, right? And we put it here. There's always gonna be a little bit of a gap here for you that's gonna have a little bit of play so that we can pull this down tight to get that flush look across the top. So you really wanna pay attention to the bump and weave of the foam, as well as the height of the nailer coming through, because we give you guys an extra ½ inch here in the back to make sure that we can play with that fluctuation in the wood. In this scenario, one of the things that we want to do when we get into printing across, right, especially here if we're looking at the squares, we really want to make sure that the logo is aligned as best as possible. So we can see that it's dipping right here just a little bit, so come up like 1/8 of an inch. Down, 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 down. Whoa. There we go, perfect. And then once we get the letters aligned, we're gonna make sure that that looks nice and crisp across the lines, more so than the top, because we wanna make sure that that logo is really lined up as perfect and smooth. And then we'll go back up to the top and do anything we have to do to the top, whether it's hammering down the tops of the boards, getting the frame kit to look nice and straight, because we prioritize the logo over the levelness when we're looking at prints across multiple pads. Okay, so what we have here is when we put this extra mat in here, we have a little bit of a gap at the top. So what we're gonna do is, because we've installed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 new pads and reshuffled them all around, we're gonna cheat these over like a 1/16 of an inch, a little bit each way, so that you still can't get into the back, but they're not gonna be pressed as firmly up to each other as we would like. And as we leave that gap, we'll be able to get this mat in particular to close across the top. So we're gonna kinda pop these out a little bit, reshift everything and nail it slightly looser to fill this gap, just because the walls we might have actually done that when we installed these a few years ago, I just didn't remember. So as we put this in here, typically we would clip all the backs of the nails to put it in here. We left those at home today for some reason because poor planning. So what we did was we used the rubber mallet, smashed it down. Now when we put this in, we're gonna start in one corner and we're gonna make it look as smooth and as nice as possible. We're gonna shoot one right in the corner. Perfect, that's gonna hold it in place. Then we're gonna go through to the back of the nailer, right here in that upper corner. Perfect, and that's gonna hold this in place. And what we can do is we can work our way down to make sure everything is right in place. And if you can see the little gap right here, when we get here, what we're gonna do is pick the mat up from the bottom and then nail it in so we get a good flush look. So we're just gonna work our way down. There we go. And then we're gonna pick this up from the bottom. So, let me know when I close it, Dylan. Good? All right, let's hold this in place. If you wanna use the nail gun and put it in for me. There we go. Nice. So from a visual aspect, we always try to make sure that we have flush to the trim across the top with gaps on the bottom. It just helps the eyes be a little bit more appealing. And again, we're gonna push this up, lean in on it really quick to get it as clean and as close as we can. Put it right in that corner to hold it. And because I'm putting a little bit of pressure into it, we're gonna put two in that place just to give it a nice hold to make sure that this looks clean and flush, like we never took it off. If you want to give it that final extra little detail, we would come through with a little bit of wood filler, fill all these in, give it like a little bit of a nice sand, and be done for the day.